Let's begin. Question number one. Amit Bhai and Narendra Bhai are in partnership sharing profits and losses equally. From the following trial balance and adjustments given below, you are required to prepare trading and profit and loss account for the year ended 31st March 19 and a balance sheet as on that date. So trial balance given to you. Debit balances. Quickly tell me where you are going to write these items. The first one, plant and machinery.
Assets,
Okay. Factory building.
Asset.
asset,
Sundry debtors.
asset,
Assets.
What about purchases?
trading account,
Trading account.
Good. Bad debts.
Profit and
profit and loss account,
Then sales return, what will you do?
Trading
Less
account.
on credit
trading
side.
account,
Okay, it is in the trading account, but you will deduct it from sales, which is if you see in the credit balance side. So tick mark sales. Okay. Where will you write 10% government bond? Anybody can take a hint.
Profit and loss.
Okay, 10% government bond is an asset. Okay, it comes under the category of investments. You must have purchased some investments, and the name of that investment is government bond. And if you see the rate given, that 10%, which means every year you are going to receive interest from your investment. It's just like keeping money in the bank where you receive interest every year or every month. Same way, these investments, what you see there, when they give you the rate 10% government bond, which means from that investment you are going to receive interest every year. So remember, there is something to be done with that 10% government bond. We will have a discussion on that. Important, because down, if you see, they have also given you on which day you have purchased those investments. This purchased on 1st October 18. So why they have given you the date? There is something relevant over there. Then further, where will you write import duty?
Trading account.
Trading account.
Trading account. Then legal charges,
P&L
Profit
account,
and loss.
profit
Profit and
and
loss.
loss account. Yes. What about motive power?
Trading account.
Motive power will come in trading account. What is the explanation? See, the word motive means relating to machines or motors. Okay. And the word power means power in various forms. For example, electricity or coal or gas, whatever you are using to generate power for your motors or machines is known as motive power. And where are those machines being used? In the factory. So that expense will go to trading account. Okay. Then what about warehouse rent?
profit and loss
Profit
account,
and loss.
Profit and loss account. Remember, warehouse is a place where you store your surplus goods, but has nothing to do with manufacturing. Manufacturing is complete, which is why that expense will go in profit and loss account. Very good. Continue. The next two items, cash in hand and cash at bank.
assets,
Assets.
Both are assets. What about advertisement?
profit and loss account,
Profit and loss.
Profit and loss account, and they have given you some additional information there. It is paid for 2 years with effect from 1st Jan 2019. Now, whenever you pay extra, which means it is prepaid, we always take expenses for 1 full year. Okay, but here when they say it is paid for 2 years, that means there is something to be done with advertisement. We need to adjust that expenditure. Okay. Then the next item, salaries,
profit and loss
Profit and
account,
loss.
profit and loss account, rent.
profit and loss
And
account,
loss.
What do you do with drawings of the partners?
They're deducted from the capital.
capital,
You will deduct it from the capital, which is on the liability side. Good. Then next, all the three items, where will you write? Furniture, bills receivable, and freehold property.
assets,
All of them in the balance sheet on the asset side. Very good. Same way now, let us discuss about credit balances. Capital is the first item on the liability side. Sales, first item in
Trading
credit side
account.
of trading account. Yes. Where will you write the next? Bills payable,
Liability.
liability,
liability. What about discount?
Profit and loss
Profit and loss.
Yes, profit and loss account. This is discount, which is in the credit, means you must have earned this discount. Discount received, which becomes an income, will go to profit and loss account. Then next, creditors
liability,
Liability.
is a liability. RDD, the one given in the trial balance, which RDD do we term this?
Old RDD.
Old
Take
RDD.
always the old RDD, and there's a specific way of writing this RDD whenever it is mentioned in the trial balance. When they've given you old, okay, there is a specific way of writing it. There are adjustments also down below, so important. How to write it, we will see when we come across that item. The next, where will you write bank loan?
Liability.
Is a liability, and what do you do with purchase return?
Trading account.
Deduct from
Trading
purchase.
account.
Yes, in trading account, deduct from purchase. So tick mark purchases in the debit balance. Okay, this was relating to the trial balance. Now we move further and see what all adjustments are to be done. So on the next page, the first one, stock on hand on 31st March 19 was valued at 43,000. That is closing stock. Point number 2, uninsured goods worth 8,000 were stolen. So some of the goods which you may have produced and kept, okay, they are stolen, which means you are also going to suffer a loss. And they're saying these goods were uninsured, which means there was no insurance policy where the insurance company gives you money later for your loss. No, goods are lost and that entire amount will become your loss. So how to record? Again, 2 places is where we're going to record. Adjustment means 2 effects, right? In 2 places everywhere. So this is also a new adjustment. We will see what to do with goods which are stolen. Point number 3, create RDD at 2% on sundry debtors. So tick mark sundry debtors in the trial balance. They are asking us to create a reserve for doubtful debts. Then the next point. Point number 4, Mr. Patil, our customer, became insolvent and could not pay his debts of 500. Pay attention what this item is. There is one customer for whom we must have sold goods to and he has to pay us money. But he became insolvent, which means he has no money left. So he could not pay his amount of rupees 500. When a customer does not pay you, what is that term called?
Bad debts.
Bad
It is
Bad debts.
bad debts. Very good. So you have bad debts, which again has to be adjusted from your customer's balance, which is your debtor's balance. So again, go and tick mark sundry debtors for the second time. You will deduct bad debts. And there are already bad debts. If you see in the trial balance, you tick mark that also. Okay. Now remember, when RDD and bad debts, both adjustments are there, you know that both of them are to be done on debtors, but there is a particular order. Okay. Always bad debts has to be done first, and then you will do RDD adjustment. It matters. Okay. The calculation changes because of this order. So always do bad debts adjustment first, and then you move on to the RDD adjustment. So here they have reversed the order and given you. First, they have given you information about RDD, and then they are mentioning something about bad debts. What will you do? You will reverse the order. So while reading the question itself, you need to make certain changes. So what you will do is make your adjustment number 3 as 4 and make your adjustment number 4 as 3. That is the order in which we will solve. Very, very important. If you don't follow this order, your solution will go wrong. Okay. Then the next point number 5, as usual, outstanding expenses, rent and salaries. You very well know what to do. Tick mark both those expenses, rent and salaries, outstanding, not yet paid. Then point number 6 also, you are very familiar with, depreciate factory building by 2,500 and furniture by 1,800. Again, tick mark both those assets, building and furniture. They are to be depreciated. Okay. Now we have read all the adjustments and we can start with our solution. But before we move on to that, remember there are 2 items here which have no mention in the adjustment, but yet you are going to do something to that. I have put a star mark there. It is for those 2 items. One is 10% government bonds. What you do is put a tick mark on that. And advertisement down below also, you put a tick mark on that. There is no mention in the adjustment, but still, because something is given in the bracket there, we have to do that adjustment. Okay. So those 2 items also you tick mark, 10% government bond and advertisement. Okay. Now, to prepare our solution, these things you are supposed to write. Firstly, for whom you are preparing, these accounts. The two partners, Amit Bhai and Narendra Bhai. So write on top of your solution, on top of trading profit and loss account, write down in the books of Amit Bhai and Narendra Bhai. Write down for the year for which you are preparing final accounts, that is 31st March 2019, both in the trading P&L account and on the balance sheet as well. The name of the two partners we can write and keep under capitals. And always leave about 3 to 4 lines between them. Okay. Once you have completed with this, now we can go to the trial balance and start picking up those items, following the same order and putting it in your final accounts. So the first item there, plant and machinery, is an asset. Come to the balance sheet asset side and write down plant and machinery. Amount 2,80,000. The next is factory building, also an asset. But remember, there was an adjustment down below, right in the inner column. Factory building, 75,000. Then, next is sundry debtors. Again, on the asset side, write down debtors. Inner column, 28,700. And below debtors this time, you leave 3 lines. There are 2 adjustments on debtors. Leave 3 lines. Then, next is purchases. Go to trading account. On the debit side, you have already written the word purchases. Write in the inner column, 85,500. Next is bad debts. Now, bad debts, there's a specific way of writing because there are adjustments relating to debtors also later down below. So bad debts, is written in profit and loss account right there below the total line of trading. 2 bad debts. Inner column, 500. Here also you leave 3 lines to record all the adjustments relating to debtors. Some more bad debts are there. There is RDD as well. All will be clubbed together and written. Okay. Then after bad debts, the next item, sales return. It has to be deducted from sales. On the credit side of trading, write down below. Minus returns. Amount is 2,200. Then next, 10% government bonds. That is an asset. But because of the interest rate given and the date given, it does have an adjustment. You're going to write in the inner column. Write down 10% government bonds. Amount is 40,000. Next, import duty that goes to trading account. Amount is 1,800. Next, legal charges. Go to profit and loss account. Legal charges 2,000. Then you have motive power. That again goes to trading account. To motive power 12,000. Continue. Next is warehouse rent. That goes to profit and loss account. Amount 1,800. Then next is cash in hand and cash at bank. Both of them are assets, come to the balance sheet. Asset side, one below the other. First, write down cash in hand. 20,000. And cash at bank. 70,000. The next is advertisement. Back to profit and loss account. Right on to advertisement. Right in the inner column, 10,000. Then next is salaries. Also in profit and loss account, it has an adjustment. You write in the inner column to salaries, 3,800. And the next item also, rent, has an adjustment. Continue in profit and loss account to rent, 1,500. Then next is drawings of the two partners, which you will deduct from capital in the balance sheet. Liability side, below the names of the two partners, on the next line you will write first for Amit Bhai, write down less drawings. That is 2,400. And next for Narendra Bhai, minus drawings. That is 3,200. Then next item is furniture, which is an asset. On the asset side, write down furniture. In the inner column, there is an adjustment down below, 1,95,800. And the next two items, also assets, continue there. Next is bills receivable. $20,700. And freehold property, $41,000. Debit balances are complete over here. Now we move on to the credit balances. The first item there is capital of the two partners. So on the liability side, against the name of each partner, write down their capitals. For Amit Bhai, it is 3,50,000. And for Narendra Bhai, it is 3 lakhs. Then next is sales. In trading account, write down by sales 1,80,000. Deduct and tell me the net sales in the outer column. Yes, anyone? Sales minus returns in the outer column.
1,77,800.
That's correct. 1,77,800. Then continue. The next is bills payable. That is a liability. Balance sheet on the liability side, write down bills payable. $8,500. Then next is discount, which is an income. We'll go to profit and loss account. Below the total, remember always leave that line for gross profit, and then below you write down by discount. Amount is 1,200. Then next is creditors. Back to the liability side. Below bills payable, write down creditors. That is 38,500. Then next you have RDD, and the one given in the trial balance is old. We don't require the old. We are going to make fresh reserve. So cancel the old and later on make the new reserve. So to cancel, what you will do is put a minus sign. So below bad debts, remember we have left some lines there. Okay, that's where you will write bad debts and RDD. Preferably you write all of them together in profit and loss account. So already we have written bad debts 500 there in the inner column. Below that, you are going to cancel this old RDD. So write down minus old RDD. This must be last year's RDD, which we will cancel and make a new one later on. So cancel minus old RDD, amount is 2,700. Done. The next one is bank loan. Again, that is a liability. Below creditors, the next liability, bank loan. Amount is 15,000. And the last item there, purchase returns, that will be deducted in the trading account from the item of purchases. Right down below purchases minus returns. That is 2,000. Deduct and tell me net purchases in the outer column.
83,500.
That's correct. 83,500. Okay, at this point, our trial balance is complete. But before we move on to the adjustments, remember there are 2 items in your trial balance which already have an adjustment. Okay, because of that special information given in the bracket, there is something to be done with those items. So let's take those items one by one, and they are extremely important. Okay, there is some calculation to be done. You are going to understand with the help of the explanation. So out of that, the first item there, what we will take is that 10% government bonds. Remember, if you have purchased investments, every year you are supposed to receive interest on that investment. Okay, that is going to be your income. But look on the credit balance side and see, out of all those items there, have you received interest? Do you anywhere see the word interest received or just the word interest it is not there. Okay, which means you have purchased investments, but you have not yet received interest on that. And that is the adjustment to be done. That interest which should have been received is not yet received. So let's record that income. So how do you do that? You are going to calculate that income and record it in your accounts. And the moment I say it is an income, which means it has to be credited. Because as per the normal account rule, you have to credit all incomes. So where will you write? The first effect, you are going to come to the profit and loss account credit side. Just like you had a discount, which was one of the incomes, there is one more income here now, and you will call that interest. So write that by interest on your investment, and write down the name of the investment. Interest on 10% government bonds. Again, I'll explain why are we writing it on the credit side here, because it is an income which we are supposed to receive this year. Not yet received, but is it an income for this year? Answer is yes. So then you must record it in your final accounts. The only thing is they have not given us how much interest is there, but we can calculate how much interest. And you will use the simple interest formula to find out that amount. So how do you do that? Pay attention. Have a look at what is the value of your investment. That 10% government bond, if you see, the value is 40,000. Okay. On that, you are going to use the rate of that government bond, which is 10%. So use 10% on that, multiply 10 upon 100. But this investment, this government bond, you have not purchased it and you don't have it for the entire year. If you look in the bracket given below, it says these are purchased on 1st October 2018. Remember, you purchased it on 1st October 18 and your accounts that you are preparing get over on 31st March 19. On this day, we are preparing accounts. So from the day you purchased till today, till 31st March 19, how many months have passed? Calculate and tell me that number of months.
6 months.
It is 6 months. October, November, December, Jan, Feb, and March is a period of 6 months. So when you calculate interest, don't calculate for the full year. If you have those investments only for 6 months, then you will also calculate for 6 months, which means you will multiply into 6 upon 12. If you have already studied in maths somewhere before in school, this is nothing but the simple interest formula, PNR upon 100. Okay, that was the simple interest formula, and you have done that the same thing. 40,000 is the principal on which you are calculating interest. N, the number of months, is 6 out of 12 months, and the rate of interest 10 upon 100. Do that calculation and tell me how much is the interest that you are supposed to receive.
2,000.
2,000. So write in the outer column 2,000. This is your income for the current year, 2,000 rupees. Okay, but this is an adjustment. It cannot have only one effect. This is a transaction which was not done earlier. You are doing it now, which means it should have both the debit and the credit effect. You have done only one. You have written it in the profit and loss account on the credit side. That effect is over. Where is the second effect? You are going to tell me after you hear this explanation. I told you that this interest that we have calculated should have been received this year. But as per our trial balance, nowhere we saw that item of interest in the income side, on the credit side. So it is an item which is going to be received in the future years. There is some amount which is not yet received. It is receivable in the future. Where will you write that second effect?
Assets.
Very good. It is on the asset side, and we have specifically left a line below 10% government bonds for that reason. There you will go and write plus interest due. The word due indicates that it is some amount of interest which is not yet received. Receivable, any amount that you're going to receive in the future, is an asset. And that amount that we calculated was 2,000. Adding on the asset side is your debit effect, because in the balance sheet, all debit balances are your assets. That is your debit side in the balance sheet. So we have added on the debit side, on the asset side, interest due 2000. And now the total value of your investments in the outer column, 40 plus 2000 becomes 42,000. The next adjustment in the trial balance is relating to advertisement, which we have not yet done. So let's also do that adjustment on advertisement. Come to your profit and loss account, and if you see advertisement was written in the inner column, that is 10,000. But in the trial balance, if you see below the term advertisement, they have told you that it was paid for 2 years with effect from 1st January 2019. And that means this expenditure is prepaid. Whenever you pay any expense, it should be paid for one particular year only. If you are paying it for 2 years, you are paying it for an extra period of time, that is prepaid expenditure. We will have to remove whatever is extra. But how much is extra? Let us calculate. See the total expenditure. Okay, pay attention now. The total expenditure is 10,000. But on which date have you paid this expenditure of 10,000? If you want to find out, it's given there down in the bracket. It was paid on 1st Jan 2019. Okay. If it is paid on 1st Jan 19, also see when do you close your accounts. For this year, we are closing our accounts today on 31st March 2019. Again, check how many months have passed since the day you paid that expenditure. From 1st Jan 19 to 31st March 19 is a period of how many months? Count and tell me.
3 months.
Pay attention. Total expenditure was 10,000, but we know that for this year it is not 10,000. We are trying to find out for this year how much should be that expenditure for the current year, which ends on 31st March 19. So have a look and see when that expenditure was paid. It was paid on 1st January 19, and our accounts we prepare at the end of the year on 31st March 19. So if you calculate, what you told me is it is a period of 3 months, full of Jan, Feb, and full month of March. That is a period of 3 months. So only 3 months relates to this particular year. So let's find out how much is that 3 months expenditure. 10,000, remember, is expenditure that you have paid, but out of that, okay, how much for one particular year? If you want to find out, firstly, how will you do the calculation? 10,000 is paid for 2 years. We don't want for 2 years. First, calculate for 1 year. So if you want to find out for 1 year, you will divide by 2. Take the expenditure as half. It is cross multiplication. I will show it to you here. 10,000 is an expenditure for 2 years. I don't want for 2 years. I want only for 1 year. So for 1 year, it should be how much? Cross multiply, and it's exactly half. So that expenditure is only 5,000 rupees. But in this particular year, you have not even paid it for one full year. 5,000 rupees is for 1 year. But have you spent that money for 1 year? Answer is no. As per our calculation, we have spent it only for a period of 3 months. So we cannot even take 5,000. Take that 5,000 and find out how much should be the expenditure for 3 months. So if 5,000 is an expenditure for 12 months, cross multiply and find out how much should be the expenditure for 3 months. Okay, I understand that this is slightly complicated because of the date as well as the number of months. So what we will do is at the end, we will prepare a note, okay, so that you have that for revision purpose. But just to calculate, you tell me now, 5,000, if it is an expenditure for 12 months, how much should be the expenditure for 3 months? Cross multiply and give me the answer.
1,250.
Okay, so what you have done is 5,000 into 3 upon 12, that comes to 1,250. And what you are going to record is only this much for this particular year, 1,250. The remaining, whatever is extra, is all prepaid expenditure. Okay. Okay. Now I know that this is complicated. So for better understanding, it is best that we prepare a note on how much advertisement expenditure is for this year and how much is prepaid expenditure. So below your balance sheet or on the next page, what you do is take down this working. Let us find out how much is advertisement expenditure for this particular year. Okay, right on. Note on advertisement. Okay, one below the other. Let us write down the details. Firstly, they have given us advertisement expenditure for 2 years. So write down expense paid for 2 years. That is given to us in the trial balance. For 2 years, you have paid an amount of 10,000. There is no use for recording expense of 2 years. You need to record only for one particular year. So therefore, expense for 1 year will be exactly half. So you will take 10,000 divided by 2. Therefore, expense for 1 year is 5,000. Now we should have recorded 5,000 in our accounts if you have paid that expenditure for 1 full year. But there is one more piece of information given, and that is advertisement was paid on 1st Jan, which means you have not paid that expenditure for even 1 full year. You have paid it only for a certain period of time, and that is for a period of 3 months. So you will write down the next point. Therefore, expense for 3 months. And we will show how you got that 3 months. It is from 1st January 2019 till the end of the year, that is 31st March 2019. If it is paid on 1st Jan, which means you have paid it only for a period of 3 months. So now let us find out for a period of 3 months how much that expenditure will be. You will take that expenditure 5,000 and multiply it for 3 months into 3 upon 12. And that was 1,250. Only 1,250 is the expenditure for this particular year. How much is prepaid? Deduct from the total. So you will write here, therefore, prepaid expense. Prepaid expense is from the total 10,000. For the current year, it is 1,250. Deduct. All that extra part is prepaid expenditure. Deduct and tell me how much is that extra part?
8,750.
8,750 is prepaid. Important note, of course, in the exam, you don't have to prepare this note. You don't have to waste time. But now we are only learning. So while learning, learn in detail. Okay. Extra detail, you write down and keep how you have calculated for the current year, that is 1,250, and the extra part, which we will deduct, 8,750. Okay. Has everybody taken down this note?
Yes, sir.
Important. Okay. Go back to the profit and loss account. And since it is prepaid, you are going to remove it from there, deduct. Right on, minus prepaid under advertisement. And what we had calculated was 8,750 was prepaid advertisement. When you deduct is what you get for the current year. That is only 1,250. This is one effect. From the expenditure, you have removed the extra part which does not belong to this year. It belongs to the next year's. Second effect, where will you write for prepaid expenditure, the second effect?
Asset.
It is an asset. Come to the balance sheet asset side and write down prepaid advertisement. The prepaid part was 8,750. Okay, two effects are done. Now we can move to the adjustments given below the trial balance. So one by one now, we will have a look. Point number 1, talks about closing stock. Every question has this as the first adjustment. You know that closing stock, first effect is in trading account on the credit side. Below sales, I told you always leave about 2-3 lines and then write the last item on the credit by closing stock. Amount here is 43,000. And the second effect, closing stock, is an asset on the balance sheet asset side. Write down closing stock. That is 43,000. Done. Two effects are over. We move on to point number 2. Uninsured goods worth 8,000 were stolen. The moment you have any information relating to goods, okay, in the form of opening stock or closing stock or purchases or sales, you know that it has to affect trading account. So first effect is definitely going to be in trading account. And tell me which side will you write. Goods which are stolen, they are going out from your business. Which side to write?
Trading account, credit side.
Trading account, credit side. Whenever goods are going out, credit what goes out. If you see sales, goods are going out, you have credited. Here also goods have been stolen. You have not received money for it. It has been stolen and gone away from your business. It is going out. So first effect, you write on the credit side and write down why they have gone out. By, write down here, goods lost by theft. Goods lost by theft, which means they were stolen. Theft means somebody stole your goods, and the amount of goods that was stolen is 8,000. So write in the amount column 8,000. But where will you write the second effect? Remember, when goods are lost by any reason, whether a fire took place or some robber came and stole your goods and went away, it is our loss because we did not receive any money for that goods. We took all the efforts and produced those goods to sell it in the market. But before you could sell it, somebody stole it. So you could not get any money for that, which means it is a loss. And losses have to be debited. Where will you debit that loss? In profit and loss account on the debit side will be the second effect. So on the debit side, on P&L account, you write down to loss by theft. And you did not receive any money from the insurance company. It is clearly said there, uninsured goods. There was no insurance on those goods, which means the entire amount of 8,000 is your loss. Write down to loss by theft, 8,000. And if you see, both the debit and credit effects are done. Two effects. One, writing in the trading account credit side because goods have gone out. That is one effect. And it entire amount is your loss. So the debit of profit and loss account is your second effect. And now that transaction is complete. Both debit and credit effects are recorded. Okay, done. Point number 2, that adjustment is complete. Now point number 3 and 4, as we decided earlier, we have to interchange that order. You cannot do RDD adjustment before recording bad debts. Always bad debts has to be recorded first. So we will take point number 4 before we take point number 3. It says, Mr. Patil, our customer, became insolvent and could not pay his debts of 500. That is bad debts. Customer not being able to pay us is a loss. So what you see on the asset side, debtors balance, that is the amount our customers have to pay us. But there is a particular amount which is not going to be received. That is our loss, which is called bad debts. You will deduct it from there. Write down less bad debts. And they have told us that amount is 500. So deduct but take the total again in the inner column because there is one more adjustment later on debtors. So deduct and tell me the balance of debtors in the inner column.
28,200.
28,200. That's correct. 28,200. Now remember, one effect is you have deducted from debtors. It is our loss. So which means you have to debit profit and loss account, debit your losses. You have already recorded bad debts once. In profit and loss account, the first item, 2 bad debts. That was the old bad debts, which was already there before. Now you have some more bad debts, new bad debts. So go and add there some more loss that you have. Write down plus new bad debts, which we deducted there. Here you write plus new bad debts 500. And relating to bad debts, 2 effects are over. Deduct from debtors and it is a loss. So we record here on the debit side of profit and loss account. Then now we can go to adjustment number 3 and do that adjustment of RDD. Create RDD at 2% on sundry debtors. Again, you have to reduce the value of your debtors because this time you are creating a reserve, which means there is a possibility that in the future your customer may not pay you. So first only create a reserve and keep and record your debtors at a lesser value. There is a possibility that you may not receive money. So again, second time deduct below debtors. Now you write minus RDD. And we will have to calculate this time. It is saying create at the rate of 2%. How much will you take? Now you will take it on the new balance. 28,200 is your latest balance of debtors after deducting bad debts. And on that, find out how much is 2% into 2 upon 100. Anybody?
564.
564. Okay, 564 is RDD. So deduct and tell me how much is the debtors balance now in the outer column.
27,636.
27,636. Just check everyone, do your own calculation and see. 28,200 minus 564. Do you get 27,636?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, only one effect is done. That RDD was deducted from here, but that also is your loss. A possible loss that may happen in the future. Second effect, losses to be debited, come back to profit and loss account. On the debit side now, again below bad debts, one more loss to be recorded. So add that plus, this time you will write new RDD. This is important. All 4 items coming together at the same place. Old bad debts, new bad debts. Old RDD, and just now we calculated new RDD 564. Now carefully what you have to do is find out the amount that has to be written in the outer column. And to find out, be very careful. There are 3 items which have to be added, and only old RDD we do not require is what we are going to subtract from there. So add up the 3 figures and minus 2,700 and tell me what is your answer.
$1,136.
Minus 1136.
Yes,
Lloyd,
I was looking
minus.
for
Minus, sir.
that answer. Very, very good. Minus 1136. Remember, what you have done is 500 plus 500 plus 564. That only comes to 1,564. But from this, you have to minus 2,700. So your answer in total is going to be negative. Minus 1136 is the correct answer. But in accounts, you can never write a minus figure in the amount column. I cannot write here minus 1136, not allowed. But in accounts, there is a way how we can still record a minus sign. If you cannot record minus sign on the debit side, which side do you go to?
Credit side.
On the
Credit
opposite
side.
side, you will have to record. Yes, if you cannot record minus on one side, go to the opposite side and write it as it is. So how will you write? Now what you need to write here, what you will do is put a dash here because you cannot write a minus sign. So in the outer column, you put a dash, but on the other side, you go and write by RDD. Because of that excess RDD that you see minus 2,700, your figure has come negative. So write down here by RDD, and now you can write the answer 1136. Now no need to write the negative sign. It was negative on the debit, which becomes positive on the credit side. This is the magic that you can do in accounts. When you cannot write on one side, change the sign and write it on the other side of your account. If you want, you can show that calculation how it was got there. 1564 minus 2,700. Since the answer was coming negative, we have put a dash there on the debit and written it on the credit side 1136. This is important because in this question you have a chance to see all four adjustments happening at the same time, where you have old bad debts, new bad debts, both are losses. It will be on the debit side. New RDD is also a possible loss. You added there. Only old RDD is the one which has to be subtracted because that was old. We do not require. We have created a new RDD for that reason. So remove the old and put the new, which is why old RDD is the only one which is going to be subtracted. And of course, in this case, because you got a negative answer on the debit, we have gone on the opposite side and written that excess amount by RDD 1136. This is an important question. Okay. We have come across some new items here. One was relating to interest on your investment. Advertisement, similar type we have done before, but that also was important. The prepaid part, how to calculate. And now the amount of RDD, which has come on the opposite side because of a negative figure. So these are some new things that we have seen in this question. Okay, two effects are done of RDD, and point number 3 and 4 both have been completed. Now point number 5 and 6, that is very simple. We have been doing that in every question. Let's take one by one. Firstly, point number 5, outstanding expense. They're talking about rent and outstanding. You know that the expense has not yet been paid, not yet recorded, which means you have recorded it at a lesser amount. Now increase it. Rent right there plus outstanding. Amount given to us is 800. Add up and tell me total rent in the outer column.
$2,300.
Yeah, 2,300. Same thing for one more expenditure, and that is salaries. There also write down plus outstanding. Amount is 300. Add up and find out salaries in the outer column.
4,100.
4,100. Prepaid and outstanding are exactly opposite of each other. One expenditure paid more, remove it. One expenditure paid less, you add it and write the correct amount. Now to record the second effect of outstanding. It is an expense which has not yet been paid. Money is going to go out in the future. Such an amount is a liability. Write down on the liability side, outstanding expenses. And one below the other, we will show it first. In the inner column, you had rent first. Rent was 800. And salaries, which was outstanding, was 300. 800 plus 300, total outstanding expenditure is 1,100. Done. Outstanding is complete. And now the last adjustment relating to depreciation, where the value of asset is reducing. So come to the asset side. The first one, they say depreciate factory building by 2,500. So factory building, below that, write down minus depreciation. This time already calculated and given to us. It is 2,500. Deduct and find out value of building in the outer column.
72,500.
Good. 72,500 is correct. And one more asset down below, if you see furniture, that also has to be depreciated. Reduce the value, minus depreciation. That is 1,800. Deduct. What is the value of furniture?
1,94,000.
1,94,000.
1,94,000. Reducing the value of your asset is a loss. In future, those assets will give you less value. So that loss has to be recorded again on the debit side of profit and loss account. The second effect, right on, to depreciation. One below the other. First one was factory building. Amount was 2,500. And the next one, furniture, 1,800. Add up and tell me how much is total depreciation.
4,300.
4,300.
300. That's correct. And that's it. That was the last adjustment there. Okay. All of the items we have taken correctly now. Now is the time to close our account, starting with trading and profit and loss account. So first, trading account, the upper part, you close and get gross profit.
So the credit side total is 2,28,800.
Okay, I'll just write it here. Credit side total
28,800.
800. Okay. Debit side. Okay. Opening stock was not there in this question. Okay. So you can put a dash there. To opening stock, we have already written. You put a dash. And find out how much is the debit side total.
97,300.
97,300. So credit side is greater. That total we will write on both sides. 2,28,800. And debit side is lesser. So put an amount there, which will be called gross profit. Now find out. To gross profit carried down. Subtract from debit, from credit, subtract the debit and get the gross profit.
1,31,500.
1,31,500.
Yes.
Check everyone. 1,31,500 is your gross profit. Credit total minus debit total. Now bring down that gross profit. It will come to the profit and loss account on the opposite side by gross profit brought down from the trading account, 1,31,500. Now, same thing for closing your profit and loss account. This time you may get net profit or net loss. So first what you do is find out total of both sides, the credit side total and the debit side total.
So credit side total will be 1,35,836.
135,836.
36.
And debit side.
23,750.
23,750. Okay. So your credit side again is greater. So leave about 2-3 lines and then draw the total line. And on the credit side, write down 1,35,836. Same on the debit, 135,836. The difference on the debit will be called net profit, which has to be distributed among the two partners. So one below the other. Write first for Amit Bhai and then Narendra Bhai. Now we need to find out their profits individually. For that, first you find out what is the total net profit. So from credit minus the debit and get net profit.
1,12,086.
1,12,086. Okay. Everybody do your own calculation and check, are you getting the same answer? 1,12,086.
Yes, sir.
Now have a look somewhere in the question. Have they given you how the profits are to be shared? Have they mentioned that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Equally.
The first
Equally.
line itself,
Equal.
they have told you it has to be divided equally. So take 1,12,086 and divide by 2. That will be dividing it equally. How much do you get?
56,043.
56,043.
Yes, sir.
So both partners, you give them the same amount exactly, 56,043. And that's how you will get in the outer column the total net profit of 1,12,086. Okay. This net profit now will be added in the capital of the partners, which is on the liability side. So let's go there and write down the second effect of this net profit. Right down below Amit Bhai plus net profit 56,043. Same for Narendra Bhai plus net profit, that is 56,043. Add up, deduct the drawings and find out the capital at the end of the year.
40,000. 4,03,643.
4,03,643. This is for Amit Bhai. Is that correct? Take the total also for Narendra Bhai.
3,52,843.
843. Please check everyone. Are you getting the same answer there? Once that is done, add up both your liabilities and asset side and check if the total comes to the same. Anybody with the total?
I'm getting it as 8,19,586.
8,19,586.
Yes.
Did you also check the asset side?
Yes, sir.
Same total. So balance sheet tallies at 8,19,586. Have a look at your entire solution. Trading profit and loss account and the balance sheet. That's it. Now your solution is complete.